So this is the special session called to vote on Proposition 2. Currently, our legislation is trying to compromise on an already conservative bill. Unfortunately, the will of the voters is being thwarted right now. This is something that there's a lot of history of this within the Republican Party. Utah is not just, it's not an island in this. There's rampant election fraud going on in North Carolina, in Georgia, in Florida, and so we've got some real concerns. And now we have a proposition that's been voted on by voters, has been passed by voters by, I want to say, over 10,000 votes, and yet here we are where these very people are going to vote on partisan lines to bastardize what the people voted for. And they're so afraid of it that 2 days after it took effect, they called a special session to, again, try to bastardize this. And this is medical cannabis. There's no flower. Any sort of edible has to be a cube. It can't even be like a gummy bear. So they've already gotten away from any sort of Joe Camel type of cartoon where you're not going to have a gummy bear or a cartoon trying to get kids to be like, hey, let's try this cannabis. Even though obviously anyone who were to take the time to buy cannabis and spend their hard-earned money is not just going to give it out to kids. And there's so much fear-mongering propaganda around cannabis and around marijuana, and usually that's because of just simple big pharma. And it is quite unfortunate, and I really hope that we are going to get in a point where we can use facts, we can have science, not silence, and we can honor what the people want and find the best way to implement it rather than the best way to adhere to lobbyist votes and lobbyist money. But keep in mind, my prediction, we will get near across partisan lines. Democrats will vote for Proposition 2 or Rebecca Chavez-Hauk replacement of Proposition 2, which is effectively trying to undo the damage that the Republicans are trying to push on their compromise bill. And so right there, you'll see standing up behind the big desk, the Speaker of the House, that's Greg Hughes, who has plenty of corruption on his side with the inland port. There's plenty of conflicts of interest where he owns land trying to get government contracts without disclosing what those government contracts are. And so we've got plenty of people on the Republican side that are completely disingenuous. There's no earnestness whatsoever. They bend only to the will of lobbyists, and it's quite sad. These are the very people that'll tell me as a combat veteran, thank you for your service, while taking away my rights, taking away my freedoms, and telling me to go to hell.